The logical editors in Cubase 12 have received many new updates with new user interfaces, new preset browsers, and new functions and filters. However, this update is only available in the Pro version of Cubase. If you've never used the logical editors before, there are two of them. There is the Project Logical Editor, which can be located by going up to Project, going down to Project Logical Editor, and then there's two options, Setup and Apply Preset. Setup will open the logical editor itself, and Preset will open a new preset interface where you can quickly search for and apply different presets. When you're working with MIDI, there's a separate logical editor under MIDI, Logical Editor, and the same thing applies, Setup and Apply Preset. So we'll come back to the MIDI logical editor in just a bit. First, let's check out some of these Project Logical Editor presets. Think of the logical editors like batch command editors. They allow you to build your own complex editing workflows that can be completed with a single click, rather than painstakingly editing event by event or note by note. So let's say I want a function that bypasses all plugins on the selected tracks. So in the preset dialog, I'll just search up plugin, and there's a function here called toggle inserts bypass of selected tracks. So if I select my 4 tracks here with plugins on them and click Apply Preset, it applies that logical editor preset to the selected tracks, and I can click again to activate those plugins. Now, the cool thing about all of these presets is that they can actually be saved as custom keyboard shortcuts. So for example, I'm going to remember the first 3 words here, toggle inserts bypass. And what I'll do is go up to Edit, go into my key commands, and then I'll just search up toggle inserts bypass. And there it is, toggle inserts bypass of selected tracks. And I can assign a custom shortcut for this. I'll use Control 3 on my number pad and assign that. So if this is a function I use often, I can just rely on my new custom keyboard shortcut rather than having to pull up the Project Logical Editor every time to execute this command. Let's say you have some effects tracks with some time-based effects loaded on them, and you want an easy way to bypass all sends on selected tracks so that you can A/B your mix with and without the time-based effects. If I search up sends in the Project Logical Editor presets, you'll see there's a preset here for toggle sends bypass of selected tracks. So if I select these 3 tracks and click Apply Preset, this bypasses all of the sends on these channels. And I can save this as a custom shortcut as well. I'll search up toggle sends bypass. There it is, toggle sends bypass of selected tracks. And I'll make this Control 4 on my number pad. I'll go ahead and assign that. And now I can very quickly bypass all sends with a single key press using the logical editor preset saved as a key command. Next, let's check out some MIDI logical editor presets. Here I have a bass line that's kind of moving a bit slow. It's almost moving in half time with the rest of the beat. Now I could go through and edit the MIDI notes, but there is a preset for this. So when you use the logical editor with MIDI, you have to select the MIDI event first, then go up to MIDI, Logical Editor, and either go to Setup or Apply Preset. Here, I'm looking for a preset called Double Tempo. So if I select that and click Apply Preset, it automatically doubles the tempo of that bass line. Or if I want to take it back to halftime, I can just click half tempo, and with the event selected, click Apply Preset. I could do the same thing with my chords here. If I opted to go the half tempo route, I'm just going to have to make sure I trim out the range of the event, and now my chords are moving at the same pace as the bass. And again, both of these presets are key commands that can be assigned custom keyboard shortcuts. The logical editors are very complex, and I could easily have an entire course built around these. So I'm just barely scratching the surface of what these logical editors can do. However, if you jump into the setup mode instead of apply preset, you'll get the full version of the logical editor, and you can search up all of those same presets here. So for example, if I select double tempo, It shows all of the event target filters and event transform actions for this preset, and you can apply it from here as well. You can also customize the logical editor presets. For example, let's say that instead of just doubling tempo, I want to double tempo and then double tempo again. Well, I can use the logical editor here, and I can change the length and position transform actions from a factor of 2 to a factor of 4. Now when I apply this function, you'll see that the length of the baseline is 1/4 the original, and the tempo is 4 times the original tempo. And that's just a really, really simple way to customize a preset. So those are the new updated logical editors in Cubase 12.